All right, we are live here. Welcome everybody to a new episode of the DTI Takeover Show here on Total Praise Radio. I am your host, Miss Kayla, and we have an awesome show for you today. I'm hoping everybody are you tuned in because this is going to be one that you need to pay attention to. This is something that is prevalent to all of our communities, something that is impacting all of our communities. But I have with me Miss Pastor Angela Walker here with the Birmingham Urban League. Hello, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good, can't complain. So Miss Angela, can you tell us who these lovely people are?
Absolutely. We have such an extraordinary group of individuals joining us tonight. First, we have Miss Cherie Kennan. She is the CEO of What About Us Mom. This is an extraordinary um, group of women that have come together after their pain to support one another and to strengthen the community while they're going through. And so I've had the opportunity of spending some time with them to hear their story and to hear their heart. And they are women that you really want to hear from and support and rally around because they, in spite of their pain, they're still working for change
Yeah.
others. And so it's so impactful and it's so amazing to me. And we have Apostle KJ Mack of Rhema Word Ministries, which is an amazing ministry in the Birmingham area. I had the pleasure of meeting Apostle Mack when I relocated from Nashville to Birmingham
Okay.
and just being a part of what God is doing within his ministry is amazing. And
Sure.
what he does in the community, his reach is amazing. And so he's had several people within his ministry who were impacted by gun violence. And, you know, ministers, they have, their purpose is dual. And
Yeah.
so they have so many missions, they wear so many hats. And so I just wanted him to be a part of this forum tonight. Apostle.
Sure. Pastor Angela, can you tell us what the Birmingham Urban League is?
The Birmingham Urban League is actually a civil rights organization. And what they do, they help people of color and non-color. They help them in their struggle. I heard one of the individuals say today when it was started back in the day, I think it was A.G. Jackson.
Mhm.
Gaston was one of the forefathers, and he said when you see a need, meet it. And so they are about meeting the needs of people. They help people who are facing evictions. They help them with utility payments. They help them, they do tutoring, they have mentoring program, they have workforce development. So it's a lot that they do for the community to help them in their struggle to
Mhm.
get on their feet and to get back in the game. So they've done a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely. So how did you end up becoming a part of the Birmingham Urban League?
Well, I have always admired organizations that help community because, as Pastor KJ can attest, ministers, we love serving, we love helping,
Yeah.
and we gravitate towards organizations and individuals who do that because it's of like-mindedness. So
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to connect with them through a neighbor of mine. And
Yeah.
so when she said that there was an opening, I said, "Here, take my resume. I would love to be a part." And within 1 month after being a part of it, I'm like, I hit the ground and finding out that this was coming up. Of
Yeah.
course, I partnered with Dr. Mark Haynes from
Mhm.
Pure Violence, and he was just giving me all the components and how to connect so strategically. And it's just working. It's just
That's
working.
good. That's good. So Miss Cherie, can you tell us what about us moms? How did that start?
What about us? Mom started like 2 years ago
Okay.
when my son was murdered. Detroit
Mhm.
Deshaun, he was killed by a close friend, and the impact for me seeing myself, my family, and the community, it took a toll on me.
Mhm.
During the process after the funeral, everybody goes home. You're there
Mhm.
alone. Even before the funeral, it was like a movie scene. I couldn't just comprehend and accept the
Right.
fact that my son was murdered.
Right.
I'm not originally from Birmingham, So I didn't know a corner office. I didn't know a preacher. I
Mhm.
mean, those steps I had to lean on for other people to guide me through it.
Yeah.
And when all of that passed over, family went back home, and I'm here in Birmingham, me and my other two kids. It was just like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And every day when you look on the news or on the internet, you seeing mothers crying,
Mhm.
hurt,
Mhm.
just can't build themselves up to step up and reach out to the other people to ask for help.
Right.
I know that because I was in that same boat. So I started What About Us with me and two other moms, just meeting together, praying together, just talking to each other on a daily basis. And some things we discussed, it helped us, and we realized, okay, it's other people out there hurt.
Mhm.
People start reaching out, calling, saying, I want to come to the group meetings. I just want to see how things go.
Yeah.
And they keep moving, they still coming. We started out with four, me included, myself, and now we have 45 mothers
Oh
that is
wow.
a part of the group. That we all grieving, we all trying to keep each other uplifted in our pain, and we'll turn our pain into a purpose
Yeah.
because we experience hurt, loss, just no answer for it. And then from it being close to family members and friends,
Yeah.
all of our children know each other, some form, fashion,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing it on a regular basis. And we need to do something in the community to reach to our young kids and
Yeah.
bring awareness to guns that they're not a toy.
Right.
You're killing someone's loved one, and the impact after that person is gone.
Yeah. Sure. 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 So, Apostle KJ,
Yes.
um, where do you step in when you see a mother like Cherie going through what she's going through and grieving how she's going through, seeking help, seeking resources, seeking a ministers or a church somewhere that she can go? How do
Well,
you
I
step?
want I want to start off by saying thank you for having me on the
Yeah.
show tonight. Um, I'm a chaplain as well,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, we've dealt with this in our ministry at least 4 or 5 times. I want to say 7. We dealt with this, and from a pastoral standpoint,
Mhm.
you kind of limited, on how you can comfort.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, I went to school for chaplaincy to become a chaplain. And they asked this question: what's the difference between a pastor and a chaplain?
Mm.
A pastor is called to the church, but a chaplain is called to a crisis. Okay. And so I said to myself, what happens if I can get two of those and put them in one person?
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to have compassion for a person, but not knowing how to help that person,
Right.
you see. And so after finishing school, one of the things that the church uh, doesn't say to anyone is it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
All right. My first advice to those parents is let them know it's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel grieved. It's okay to be upset. The Bible says, be ye angry, but sin not. Now, I
Mm.
think we have formed a misconception that if a person is grieving, if they're
Mhm.
hurting, that means they're weak. No, you're not weak, you're human.
Yeah.
Okay. And so allow them to emote, allow them to grieve. It takes time, and to identify with them. And so, again, we have mothers in our ministry who've been through that,
Mhm.
and so how do you, tell a mother who just left her home, kiss her son goodbye,
Yeah.
knowing that when I go home, I'm going to embrace him back. But
Right.
when she go back home, she find out he's not there. He's dead.
Mm.
So you have to let them know it's okay to be okay, not to be okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's okay to grieve. It's okay to be mad, you know, because during those seasons and those times, one thing about grief, there's no finish line to grief.
Right.
You can't say, go ahead and get over it. It'll be
All right.
okay. No, no, there's no finish line to grief. That's a process. You can go through the 5 stages of grief. You
Mhm.
could be fine one month, but then when the birthday come around,
Right.
You see, when the anniversary comes around,
Right.
when those
Holidays and
triggers,
things. Yeah.
holidays, Christmas, and that mother having to face Christmas without her children, that's
Yeah.
sad. You see, and so just like what she said, you have to be there after the funeral. I
Hmm.
mean, just because you don't see her crying doesn't mean she's not hurting.
Right.
Just
That's
because
right.
she's smiling doesn't mean she's not in pain. And so really being there after the family has gone back home, after the
Hmm.
phone calls have ceased, you know, going there and really checking on them. And so in my ministry, I've had one individual, a mother, she lost her mother, her father, and her only child in the span of 3 months.
Mm.
And
Jesus.
she was a leader, okay? And that literally took her out of church for 2 years.
Mm.
And during those 2 years, I told everybody, leave her alone.
Right.
You'll check on her, pray with her, but don't ask her where you been, why you not
Right.
in church. No, love on her and give her a shoulder. This very same woman, now she's back in church, she's back in leadership, she's back
Right.
praising God
Yeah.
because we gave her that time
In
to grieve
space.
and to heal.
That's good. That's good. So Pastor Walker, how did we all come together? How did this happen?
We came together because, again, I knew Pastor Mac, Apostle Mac, but Dr. Haynes, we started working together to form Mothers United Against Gun Violence. And we just started doing the research. He started doing research and looking at the various organizations. He's been doing this for years. And so he's schooling me on how to do it because when you know somebody is passionate about something, it's
Mm.
easy to grab them by the hand and move them in the right direction. You
Right.
just need guidance. And so he just started showing me the different components, the different pieces, and the different people. And I just started reaching out. And one day I just happened to get on a Zoom call. It was like a community roundtable, and
Hmm.
there was Cherie, and there were many other organizations. I just started inboxing like, "Hey, I've heard about you," and I just started reaching out because it's something that I want to do. And I
Hmm.
had the opportunity of meeting with them the day before Mother's Day, and it was so special. It was so special because I sat there and I heard their story, and
Yeah.
it just broke me because it could have been me. My
Yeah.
son was shot twice. He survived, and it
Wow.
was not supposed to be that way because God showed me. And I tell people I had the dream of the shooting before it happened.
Mm.
And I saw everything played out, the location, what he was wearing, the whole thing. And I saw him lying on the sidewalk with blood streaming from his head. And
Mm.
I was just in a place and I just cried out to God and I called my pastor's wife. I said, "This is what I saw.
Yeah.
This is what I felt." And she prayed with me. It was less than a month later, I got the call that my son had been shot and everything but the outcome. My son was in the
Mm.
same location. He was wearing the same clothes, the same everything. And the
Wow.
bullet that was meant for his head, he said, when he fell, it hit the steps and it bounced back. He was not
Mm.
supposed to be here, but God, in
Yeah.
His mercy, He turned it. So I empathize. I feel their pain
Yeah.
because I had to fight for my sons. When I was in Chicago, I didn't know what it meant to be afraid. I walked the street and I looked at them. They looked at me, and I'm like, "Where are my sons?"
Yeah.
And I had to fight. And I told, I was sharing a story today. We had a news interview, and I remember my son was younger, and he had gotten hurt over the weekend, and I took him to the hospital, and his arm was in a brace. And so I came home early from work one day. He came inside, and I heard him crying as he came
Hmm.
inside. And I asked him, I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "These boys jumped on me." I said, "Who? Where?" And I jumped
Right.
in. I got it. I said, "Let's go find him." My mama said, "Please don't go." I said, "I'm
Hmm.
going. I'm going."
Right.
I
Yes.
jumped in my car and I drove around and I found them.
Mm.
And I got
Wow.
out and I just began to talk to them. What I
That's
initially
good.
wanted to do,
Right.
God just changed it and allowed me to just talk to him. And I just allowed the young man to look at my son to see himself. I said,
Mm.
"He looks like you."
Right.
I said, why do you want to hurt someone that looks like you? I said, he's already wounded. He's in a cast. I said, why would you do that?
Right.
He can't defend himself. I know he didn't do this. And so as I talked to him, just from a mother's perspective, I got in my car, and as I was getting ready to drive away, he,
Oh, you muted yourself.
I'm
There you
sorry,
go.
it went out. He flagged me down.
Hmm.
He said, ma'am, I'm so sorry.
Oh wow.
He said, I'll never do that again. He shook my son's hand, and my son never had trouble out of that young man. And I
Wow.
just heard that he died about a year ago from a
Oh
drug
no.
overdose. Yes,
Mm.
but he never had trouble out of him.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So you all have an event coming up.
We do. We have an event coming up. It is June 3rd, and it is Gun Violence Awareness Day. And we are commemorating those who've lost loved ones, but we're celebrating those who survived.
Yeah.
We have those who've lost loved ones. We have survivors from it. We have organization. We have religious leaders. We have academia. We have all of these components coming together because I often say, that a chain is only as strong as the links.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
And so we are connecting to people who can be links in that chain to help us to build the momentum to do the things that we can do, not just centralize, but
Yeah.
move it. It has to be mobile. It has to be a mobile move. It has to be something that is continually impacting,
Yeah.
evolving, and changing the lives for the better.
Yeah.
We know it's bigger than one. It's bigger than
Mm-hmm.
one organization. It's bigger than one community. It's bigger than one ministry. So we have to do what's necessary in order to reach one,
Absolutely.
bring the
Mm.
Absolutely.
change. And that's what
Sure.
we're doing.
Yep.
So Cherie, what are you hoping this event? What are you hoping people
I'm
gain or
hoping
people?
that we can get as many people to come out as possible.
Hmm.
The survivors, the victims, the ones that's still lost, even the ones that's doing the crime.
Yeah.
So we can make a plea with them and like, okay, we love y'all. We here for y'all. We want to come together as a whole and see what we can do as a community to stop, well, not stop the violence because it will never stop, to bend the curve on it,
Mhm.
give them more resources so they can have other things to do besides shooting one another. I
Right.
This weekend, on Monday night, they said they was 11. I'm sorry, it was 11 shootings over the weekend in Birmingham. In a 3 day
Wow.
span. Um, Out of those 11, I think four died, and the
Mm.
other ones was innocent bystanders,
Mm.
just being at the wrong place. And we want to bring awareness to the youth and to the young men that's out here doing this. You are hurting families.
Yeah.
You are taking individuals away from their mothers, their love, their children, even the community. I've been doing a lot of research and reading. Alabama is the fourth leading state in homicides.
Mm.
That is just, and we're small. We don't have a million people in the community. Those
Mm,
numbers are compared to Chicago, New
yes.
Mm.
Orleans. I mean, it's just really sad, and it breaks my heart that us as community we cannot get along enough. We just can't get along with each other. If you say something wrong with somebody, instead of
Yeah.
trying to ease the conflict or talk it out, they want to keep.
Right.
And it's and I think that more of our young men are being murdered, and I say around about the year of 2030.
Hmm.
There's none. It's not going to be many left.
Right.
And like our Father in heaven, we mirror down to the other men that's in the community to try to help us raise our young black men. But if we still going at the rate that we are going, I'm
Right. You
scared to
don't
say
have.
what's going to happen.
Right.
And we get out here, we march, we talk to the youth, and we can't blame just the police department. We
Right.
can't
That's
blame
true.
just the mothers. because now our kids, it's all on TV, it's all on the internet. That's all they see. It's in the music. And I'm spiritual and I believe in God with all my heart. But
Yes.
it's a piece missing. Something is
Mhm.
missing where we cannot reach to the youth. I've been praying. I've been
Mhm.
trying to figure out, listen to other videos, listen to other shows, trying to say, see, okay, I know it's going on up here in Chicago.
Yeah.
I know it's going on in Birmingham. I know it's
Yeah.
going on in Huntsville. It's a world epidemic.
It is. It really is.
So it's not just in our community, it's worldwide, and people as a
Mhm.
whole going to have to come together. Even the massive shootings that we have in other states. Thank God that we haven't
Right.
had a real massive shooting here. But as time goes on, it's just like it can happen any
It
day.
can happen. Mhm.
But then we will have a group of family that's going through it. And what about us? That's what we do. We give the moms enough time to make their own decision if they want to be
Mhm.
a part, if they want to get the help, the resources that we offer. And
Mhm.
that's just like the Urban League. They are wonderful. It's a wonderful group for mothers who get trapped in the emotion and the chaos. Because for me,
Yeah.
for myself, I couldn't work.
Right.
I lost communication with so many people because I was just so angry. And I was more angry at God than I was with anybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
I, I remember from the time I had my son to the time he was 26. Father Lord, I asked you to protect my family, protect my kids,
Yeah.
put your angels in front of them. And then for him to leave my house and 10 minutes later, he's dead.
Mm.
It fights, it messes with you mentally, it messes
Mhm.
with you physically. And if you're not a strong, if you don't have a strong mind, if you don't have something to fight for,
Mhm.
you will be taken over. I have a mother in my group. Her son was murdered. Him and the father was so close that he went into a real bad depression. He died. They found him dead back in January, not
Mm.
even
Mm.
6 months
Mm.
after his son was killed.
Mm.
So, like you said, Pastor Apostle Mike, depression is so real,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that we as Black people we try to be so strong,
Yep. Hmm.
especially our Black men.
Hmm.
They will go on and say, "Well, I'm all right. I don't need no help,"
Right.
but they are hurting. Our culture has been hurting for so many years till
Yeah.
it's acceptable now. They feel
Right.
like it's the right way to hurt. Just keep it all in. So, and we got a long fight to go. Not just
Yeah.
us four on the screen,
Right.
the world.
The world.
And if we don't come up with
Absolutely.
a conclusion soon, I think it's just God gonna have to come back down on this earth and just say, stop it all. He's
Right.
gonna have to stop it because us as people, us
Mhm.
as Black African American people,
Mhm.
we done lost the concept of love,
Yeah.
morals. Our kids and the mothers, I myself is part of it because I felt like I didn't want my children to be poor like I was brought up poor. So
Mhm.
what I do, I
Sure.
worked
Sure.
constantly.
Mhm.
That took me away from my kids. I didn't realize it then, but I thought about it a couple of last year. I'm like, well, dang, I wasn't really able to teach my kids the morals of life
Mhm. Mhm.
because I felt like I had to constantly work. But then what that left my boys open,
Yeah.
stay at home, to meet other people, to go
Yeah.
hang out in the neighborhoods, to
Mhm.
pick up bad habits, to do all
Yeah.
types of things. And that plays a role in the environment that we in it today. And it's still
That's true.
happening every single day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Apostle Max, so what do you say when you hear someone say, "I'm angry. I was angry at God"? What
Um,
is the response to that?
well, again, clearly, the Bible says, "Be ye angry."
Yeah.
It didn't say who to be angry at. So,
You're right.
so
Yes.
it's fine to be angry. I will say this: we always can be honest There were times that we was angry with our own parents,
Yes.
for putting us on punishment or
Mm-hmm.
various reasons we was angry,
Yeah.
but a true son and daughter always respected their mother and their father, even though I was angry.
Yeah.
That's part of our emotion.
Mhm.
And as long as you're a human, you're dealing with your emotions, but we cannot allow them to get us in a state where we begin to sin. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's fine for them to be angry with God. God knows they're grieving.
Yeah.
He knows their heart, in that. I was talking with one lady, her son got murdered. A guy killed him, and she's still dealing with that. And so she told me about 4 weeks ago, she was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to live anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to blow her brains out.
Mm-hmm.
They took my son. I don't want to live.
Yeah.
And I told her this. I said, you know what? I know you are upset because a young man took your son. He took one life. But if you kill yourself, he would take two.
Yeah.
Mm,
He
Mm-hmm.
took one.
mm,
Don't give him two.
Yeah.
You see, and that really brought her back in,
Good.
because if I kill myself, then I'm allowing him to repeat that cycle all over again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so those of us who are really dealing with depression, we have to take control of our mind,
mhm,
you know, and not allow it to take us too far to the right or too far to the left. And I think the important part is finding someone you can be honest with.
Yeah.
mhm.
You really can open up. This is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm ready to kill myself. I'm depressed. I'm mad at God. This is how I
Yeah.
feel. And the other person won't look at you slighted.
Right.
You see, because now I understand this is really not you talking, it's your
Mhm.
emotions talking.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have to understand that our emotions they flicker,
Yeah. Yeah.
but our spirit man remains the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Apostle, what are you hoping to gain and see from during this march, during this event that's coming up on June 3rd?
I'm so excited to see everyone come together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because when you're trying to eradicate gun violence, the church can't do it alone,
Hmm.
Right.
the police department can't do it alone, the parents can't do it alone, the community can't do it alone. We can only do our part.
Yeah.
But if everyone comes together and does their part, then you can see change. So I'm,
Yes.
I'm excited to see everyone coming together, just doing their own part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is it possible that we can ask maybe some of these young men who are doing the shooting, like, why? Like, are you angry? Like, why are they angry? Like, where is this coming from?
Mm,
Is there
Well,
some type of, I don't know, outreach or group or something
yes.
that they have?
I think too, one of the things that's lacking in the Black community is mental health.
Yes.
mhm.
And so when you look at us as a race, we'll go to the dentist, we'll go to the doctor,
Yeah.
you know, but we won't go and see a doctor for our mind. You know, they'll call you crazy,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you see, but there's nothing wrong with going to professional help, you
Yeah.
see. And when you look at mental, the first three words, men,
Men.
That's right.
men. You got to deal with the men.
Mhm.
Uh, but the first two words is me.
Mm.
I got to deal with myself.
Mhm.
That's it.
Even when you're dealing with young boys, when they have an absence of the father figure in the house,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they're upset.
Yeah.
I was talking with one young girl. She gets depressed when she see her friends with their father, and hers haven't showed up yet. You
Mhm.
know,
Mm.
Now
Mhm.
she's suicidal. Her mother thinks it's about cleaning your room. No, it wasn't about cleaning my room. I miss my dad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see, so the child is getting bad grades at school. It's not because he's not paying attention. I miss my dad.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of it is really dealing with mental health and poverty.
Mhm.
You see, and so a lot of the gun violence, you get mental health on one side, and then poverty on the other side.
That's right.
Those two, they don't have an option.
Mhm.
And so I thank God for people who, or organizations that can come up with programs for our younger people,
Yeah,
Yes.
to get them an option.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So Angela, before I let you all go, can you once again let everyone know when the event is, what time it starts, and where they should be at?
Absolutely. Like I said, we're super excited because we've connected with so many amazing organizations. Again, Mothers United Against Gun Violence, Dr. Mark Haynes, What About Us Moms, Rainbow Word Ministries. I mean, Moms Who Demand Action. It is going to be amazing because we have people who have a vested interest in
Hmm.
seeing our community whole, seeing our community healthy, and
Absolutely.
resources for the mental, for the emotional. I mean, you have counselors. It's just so much information is going to be shared on that day to
Good.
help people recognize that you have a place to go. There is a safe space. There is a safe place that you can go and get the help. And we do want mothers to come out who feel like they don't have anyone to talk to, who feel like they're lost and just drowning in their sorrows alone. We want them to come because we want to welcome them with open arms and
Yeah.
let them know that there is a place for them, that they are not alone. Again, this will take place on June 3rd, Saturday, June 3rd, at Kelly Ingram Park in Birmingham. And I think that's 517th Street North. If I'm not correct, I don't know the exact address, but it's Kelly Ingram Park in downtown Birmingham. And it is a very historical park. And it is, I mean, some of the things that are part of it are historical. And it's right across the street from the 16th Street
Yes.
Baptist Church where the bombing took place, where
Hmm.
the 4 little girls were killed. So it's very historical. So we chose it just for memorial for, so people can come and recognize that there is still life after death. And
Yeah.
we can still move on and we can march forward to bring the change that we need and that we're looking for. So,
Good.
again, June 3rd, gun violence awareness in the park of Kelly Ingram. So, we look
Good.
forward to seeing everyone there.
Yeah.
Everyone there. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 Real quick. Real quick. Do we have something for both parents, for fathers as well, who are dealing with the grief with their boys, just like we have for our moms?
Absolutely. I would say the collaborations that we're bringing together,
Okay.
we say mothers, but we know that we have
We have
men who are
fathers too.
Yeah.
yeah, we have
Okay.
men who are raising children. So
Yeah.
it's not gender specific. It's just not
Hmm.
one group. So it's open to any and everyone because
Good.
help, everybody needs help. And
Yeah.
we definitely don't discriminate. Hallelujah.
Good.
Pain has no color, it has no gender.
That's
Yeah.
And
right.
so help has no race, no gender as well. So we want them to know that we're here and that whatever resources that we have available, we are going to share them with the masses because we know
Good.
that we have an organization, a group of people who are welcoming people to come so that they can receive the help that they need.
Good. I'm definitely glad that you
Absolutely.
clarified that for
Absolutely.
everyone, so everyone will know this is not just for the
Yeah.
mamas. We
Not
are
just
thinking
for the
about our
mothers.
daddies too.
Absolutely.
We are
Thank you for asking.
awesome.
Absolutely.
No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you all for
Thank you.
being a guest on our show today. Um, we pray and we hope and we wish much success for this event.
Thank you.
We hope that you all have a great turnout. That maybe some hearts and souls are touched, are
Yes.
changed. That
Yes.
God comes in and takes over
That's right.
and move
Hallelujah.
through that whole
Mm,
event.
Yes.
yes.
We ask you guys, keep us updated. We definitely want to
Yes.
stay apart. We definitely want to keep in touch
Yes.
to know what's going on with each and every one of you and your different ministries and organizations for sure.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
We are linking together.
That's
We are
Yes,
right.
coming together to bring the change, to bring the healing, to bring the help and support that's needed.
Yes.
So this is the genesis. This is just the beginning of something big that's about to take place. So
absolutely. So thank you everybody for tuning in to
thank
all
you.
the episode of the DTI Takeover Show here on Total Praise Radio. I am your host, Miss Kayla, and that's all I got for you all today. We are signing out.
Thank you. God bless everyone. Thank you so
Yes,
very
thank
much.
you.
Be
Bye bye.
blessed. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye.